Yo, you know how we do this from Man 151 at the bar radio. You know how we start this off. Gotta play the money video, Renegades, available out on all streaming platforms right now. Alright, let's go.
You don't really want to play. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. You don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. Money, 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 make you shut him mouth. Never ever talk about it if you never had the clout. You don't know what to say, stay up out of my way. Money, 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 make you shut him mouth. Keep playing with these goonies, boy, I'm gonna have to make the call. Stay in bounds on your pivot, boy, if you gon' ball. A lot of niggas be fake, and you really can't play. Cause we done got it out the mud, nigga, what you talking about? Screaming, oh my God, money got me pride. They living a lie, look into my eyes, they might seem surprised. This is homicide. We just multiply, we been on the rise. If we got some wings, fuck it, we gon' have to fly. Money, 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 what I'm talking about. Day in my life, take me a different route. Use all my case, niggas on my face. You can get it erased, what you talking about? Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. You don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't want to be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. You never crossing these borders. I'm whipping it up, Gordon Ramsay. I swear that I'm cooking these orders. You talk about me, you better just hope that you can just really afford it. I'm balling, I'm balling, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm feeling like Robert Horry. Nigga, I'm scoring. I count in the morning. They talk about me, then I gotta ignore it. My bitches be foreign. So independent, my money be corporate. These raps is boring. You hate me and I'm always gonna adore it. I'm smoking that soaring. She always go ahead and let me explore it. I call her my Dora. You can go and talk about me, I ain't flawless. I go put my all in. If a nigga talk about me, then I'm gone in. You know that I'm gone in. Jump in, take trips, Pompeii. All day, always keep 3 stacks like Andre. I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it, man. And you can never, ever, ever get rid of that. So watch what you say, and watch how you do. If you play the game, then you play by the rules. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. You don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about.
Yo,
And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about.
yo. So we got a very special guest, and this show is very special because we're not just dealing with the artists, we're going to be dealing with management, and we're going to be telling you guys always some do's and don'ts. So we got Alexis from Limelight Management. She is in the building. She has worked on with the Millennium Tour when it came into town. She's affiliated with like a Rap City ATL. She does a lot. Alexis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you today?
Pretty good, pretty good. I think this is probably gonna be one of my most special shows because I like to interview a lot of independent artists, indie artists. Um, but I think this time we want to focus on teaching the indie artists how to get their paperwork right and everything else, and what they're looking for, and how can they create a buzz um, on this music scene because it's not easy. Um, I went over a little quick, some of your accolades, but you know, for those that don't know, they have been watching your grind on IG and on Facebook. Because you literally in Atlanta right now, like, always grinding, literally doing your thing. Tell everybody about Limelight, what y'all been doing, and the moves y'all been making, please.
Well, I'm actually not technically in Limelight. I mean, I'm not, excuse me, in Atlanta. I'm sorry. We
Okay.
don't technically live in Atlanta right now. We just opened up our new office building in Atlanta. Shout out to my business partner, Stephanie. Shout out to Lamont, Derek, Caleb, Keisha, and the rest of the crew, and of course, our artists. Basically, what Limelight Management is we specialize in different types of areas, especially for our independent artists. And some of us have actually had pleasures of working with mainstream artists as well. We do artist development. We also help the artists with marketing strategies, label contracts, branding, media development, and even down to life coaching with some of our artists. Our main focus is to get the artists educated in the know-hows of the music industry and the things to look for, what to do and what not to do, especially when dealing with potential scammers.
And
Um,
that
I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's so deep right there because how do you protect artists from getting scammed? Because there's a million scams a minute out here. Somebody's gonna promise you this, somebody's gonna promise you that, somebody's gonna promise you you're gonna win certain amount of money, and they don't. Like, how do you do that?
Well, number one thing that the artists need to look for when getting these emails from major labels, supposed major labels, is a major label is not going to ask you for any money via email. The other thing is you need to see if the email matches with the actual potential company's name. Usually, if it's a marketer or if it's any type of management company, the it will have a matching email alongside of the actual email that you're getting. If you're getting a fake name alongside the email and the email does not match the potential company's email, then that's a red flag right there. They never ask you for any money via email. If they're interested in you, then they usually contact you and give you a number to call.
Now, several years ago, and I remember this because when I had Renegade stuff, somebody called me and I forgot his name, but he was, oh, I'm so and so, and I'm Def Jam affiliated, and I've been with Def Jam, and I was like, well, I don't know who you are, and he was just like, well, Google me. So I googled him, then I made some phone calls, and he turns out he really was with Def Jam. However, um, he had been fired like 2 years prior, and so when talking to him, he was like, "Yeah, you send me $500, and we gonna put you up in a hotel in New York, and you're gonna be able to perform and get $1,000 for performing." And I was like, "So why?" I said, "For real, I want to need you to put me up." I wanted to play with him at this point. I was like, "Why would I pay you $500?" I said, "One, I'm from New York. I want to need you to put me up in a hotel. I can go anywhere. I got family." And he was like,
Right,
and he was like,
right.
I was like, don't even worry about it. But he came with a good pitch. Had I been not been in this game as long as I've been in, to an unsigned person, that pitch is a great pitch. How can they avoid certain things like that?
What'd you say? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
I said, how can they avoid certain things like that?
Well, when dealing with these potential companies, the very first thing you need to ask is there going to be a contract work for hire involved? And usually, if it's a legal company, they're going to attach it either some type of disclosure, obviously, so you don't give away their company's policies or anything that their company has affiliated with them. and they will give you a attached copyrighted contract. However, the thing is, with a lot of these scammers, you have to watch the contract and certain things that are in the contract, certain words to look for, and it's crazy. You just got to do your research. You got to really, really research these companies. It's been several occasions where we've been in situations where we've had potential scammers even try to scam us. But once we start seeing red flags, we're like, oh no, this ain't working. So it's best for these artists or the management companies to do in-depth research with these particular companies or so-called companies. And if not, you could always reach out to the main company, Universal Music Group, and they'll actually give you insight on who's actually working for certain labels, because every label person is registered through those companies. Like with artists, they have BMI and ASCAP. Well, label managers and certain companies are also registered with these particular music groups as well.
See, that's important. That's important. Like I said, because you can put your music out on the internet, and you can tweet the hottest video, and you can add, Atlantic or any record label, and people who don't necessarily work for these record labels anymore or are even affiliated with them will see it, and then when they see it, their eyes will pop because they think, yo, it's a sucker born every minute. And you just have to make sure that you're not that sucker. You're right. You have to do your research and stuff. Um, you had Young 80 was an artist that called in, uh, that you co-managing with. Great artist, by the way. Great mentality, man. I could literally talk to that guy 2 hours, even without the interview. He had a great head for music and stuff. How did you meet him, and what is the process that you go to in selecting the artist that you want to work with?
Um, well, I actually met him on the Explorer page on IG. Actually, it came across, and we were chopping it up, just discussing certain things. And coincidentally, he actually lived not too far from where I lived. Now, the things that we look for in our artists, we ask them up front if they're convicted felons, any gang affiliations, or any past criminal cases that we should know about, upcoming cases we should know about. We also don't really like our artists to go live smoking, whatever they smoke, whatever. We ask that they not do, because, when these artists come out and you have potential sponsors, so to speak, and these sponsors watch your IG pages, your Facebook pages, well, basically every social media platform that you have. And that's where the brand concepting comes into you as a developing artist. If it's not really attractive to be on live smoking weed or any type of drinking on live, because it's tasteful, especially in the hip hop community, it's already a stigmata. People already stereotype hip hop as being gang affiliated and violent, and we all know that that's not the case. But when we look for our artists, we look for numbers, how far they are with their branding, if they have any merch done, if they have any EPKs done, which is a very important part of the music industry as well, as to have a professional EPK done.
Where would
But
I don't mean to cut you off, but where would an artist, because some of them don't know, so where would artists go to get electronic press kit? Because a lot of them don't know what EPK is.
I couldn't hear you. You were muffled a little bit.
I was saying, where would an artist go to get electronic press kit? Like, a lot of them don't.
We actually do them, but you can actually create your own on either Sonic Biz, Artist E-Card, you buy the domain. It's several different things for an independent artist who doesn't have a management team to go online and do it. You can even do them on Adobe. They have options to do them on Adobe. Basically, any marketing company can do an EPK for you as well. It's so many different outlets for artists to do EPKs, but for those that don't want to know what an EPK is, it's actually electronic press kit. It is a music resume. It is experience as an artist, is what you've done, shows, videos, professional photos, links to all your social medias, and a couple of links to your tracks. So upcoming booking agents or potential booking agents can look at the work that these artists have done. Even labels, um, they look at EPKs. That's the first thing they ask a management company or an independent artist if they have an electronic press kit done.
That is correct. That is correct. See, this is one of the reasons why I'm really digging this because I wanted it for all the artists that I see tons of artists that put music out and stuff. I want them to know the business side because it's the music business, you know. And in order for you to take it up to another level, you got to start doing next level things. You know, trying to press kit, as simple as it sounds, is a next level thing. Anybody can be like, I take my music serious, and you can type that, you can tweet it, you know, you can screenshot it all day. But what are you really doing? Like, if she comes to you, Alexis comes to you and says, "Hey, I like your stuff, send me an electronic press kit," and you go, "Duh," you need to ask yourself, how do you take the music serious?
Exactly.
So,
And go
but
ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. I'm sorry.
It's you talk. They want to listen to you.
Oh, okay. Well, basically everything you said is correct. And usually when an artist will say, "Oh, I need management," well, first off, any management company is going to do a consult with you. They vary in different pricing. Um, for us, we start at 50, but we do a process called artist consulting. Usually my partner does it, or I will do it. And basically, we sit down and interview an artist. It's a face-to-face interview, or online conference, whatever it may be. But we do face-to-face with these artists. And basically, we just ask them questions like, what's your IG numbers or your YouTube numbers, your Twitter, etc. And then they'll be like, "Oh, well, I didn't do this, and then I don't know what an EPK is." Well, then you're not ready for management. Then we do what we call artist development. That is what we more or less specialize in. My partner Stephanie Cadigan does the artist development, but we do a lot of stuff in Limelight. We're an in-house corporation, and yes, we are actually one of the very first all-female management teams. But we just recently brought on a few gentlemen to the
But that's
team.
big though, and don't just walk over that all smoothly. Y'all females, y'all were doing it, are doing it, and that's a big thing in the music industry.
Yeah, and especially not to cut you off, especially
You still with
I'm
me?
sorry, I think
Okay.
no, I don't know if we got cut off for a second, but yeah, it's a really really treacherous game for females as well because you would be surprised. We might not be surprised, but females go through a lot of disrespect in the industry, and for you to be respected in the industry is a big thing, especially as a female, because
Definitely.
we have to
Watch
carry
y'all
ourselves,
grow.
huh?
I've watched y'all grow. Like I've been watching y'all. When Q told me about y'all and stuff that y'all were doing, like I watched y'all grow. I mean, to see y'all even, be working with the Millennium Tour backstage, taking care of artists and doing it. Like, I was like, oh, they really put their foot down. They started to grind.
That's my partner. My partner keeps me grounded.
True indeed. So, you present, and then this is and one of the reasons too, because you never know. Um, me and Alexis talk all the time. One day, I got on her live, and she was talking to one of the baby producers, and he was in the studio, literally just making a beat. Like this is one of the values of networking and stuff like that. Like she's out here grinding, and like I said, I just happened to get on her live just to say what's up, and what's her IG live, and like she was working with a dude, like with one of the baby producers, correct?
Right.
So, people have like, it's good networking and building your brand and stuff like that. So tell us about the experience that you had working on the Millennial Tour, because I know it had to have been hectic and crazy.
Uh, dealing with the artists, basically dealing with the different personalities of the different staff members. It's like dealing with 100 to 200 different people. It's like dealing with all different types of multiple personalities. Obviously I do have some experience in dealing with mental health, but you're dealing with a million different personalities.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with the divas, and even guys are divas, and you got to maintain control, and most of all, you got to maintain professionalism, especially when dealing with, artists. And the other thing is, as hard as it is with us working with certain artists, it's hard not to get, I can't think of the word off the top of my head, but it's hard not to get starstruck. But you still have to remember they're still human at the end of the day. So you still have to be professional at all costs in anything that you do, especially with dealing with main artists and management companies and production teams and all that other stuff.
Cool, cool, cool. So I know you've been dealing with Rap City, Atlanta and stuff. Tell us a little bit about that. What you got going on with that?
Well, basically, what Rap City Atlanta is, shout out to King James. Basically, what Rap City Atlanta is, it's the new upcoming indie artist platform. It is under the old Rap City in the Basement with Big Tigger. Big Tigger actually endorsed this. Rap City Atlanta also teamed up with Hoodrich Films, OG Hoodrich Films. Dope experience for the artists. It's an opportunity for these artists to get out here and network with other artists, branch off, but most of all, be able to get over your stage fright and put on artist performances for these other artists that you probably don't even know. They do live stream, and they do different stuff. And the other thing is, they do register your music. So if your music is copyrighted, it counts as streams. So that's the importance of being registered. Any artist would be grateful to do this opportunity. I recently went down like a week and a half ago, loved it. Went back down this past week, had the opportunity of networking with Mr. Cheeks, Lost Boys, Mr. Cheeks himself, yesterday actually.
How was that? How was that working with him?
Well, I loved it. I'm actually good friends with his cousin, Unique. Unique was actually one of my old neighbors.
Small world. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. You see, like I said, they're providing opportunities for a lot of up and coming artists. I think the Rap City Atlanta thing is dope. Like I saw pictures and stuff like that. Uh, so I think that's dope. So recently, I saw that you discovered your little baby is spitting some bars and being in the studio and stuff like that. So how was that going?
I didn't actually see him face to face. He was actually in the next studio from us. Due to disclosure issues, obviously you can't get that close to these other artists.
Yeah,
Especially the safety reasons, especially after Pop Smoke situation.
yeah,
They're a little bit more careful about where these artists, how they, handle themselves and, the places that they're going. And the other thing is if artists deal with certain things, we do like to, ask them sometimes not to disclose their location. Safety reasons, and some management companies even have to sign disclosures with other management companies that they will not post on social media or anything like that, because you never know if they have their kids with them. And being that the kids are under 18, it all goes into that minor disclosure law. You know how that goes. You can't, expose them.
well, especially
Um,
now, especially after the whole Pop Smoke situation, is you really have to be mindful of your movements.
right.
You know, because you just never know who's out here lurking. Um, so Erica Brown is your daughter, correct?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I said Erica Brown is your daughter, correct?
Yes, that's my daughter.
And now that she went to her first time in the studio
Yeah,
recently.
Patchwork Studios.
How did that go?
Well, actually, the engineer, shout out to Luke. Can't think of his last name off the top of my head, but he actually he's worked with certain artists like Too Short, John Legend, Jessica Simpson, Mild Deep, various other artists, the plaques all through the thing. He was actually quite surprised when she dropped the first track, as we were all. We literally had to pick our jaws up off the floor, but I guess it kind of goes with the territory. This is what she sees that we do on a daily basis, and you know, shout out to Erica Brown. She just recently graduated high school too. So
Congratulations.
yeah.
Congratulations. Were you were surprised when she got up in there and knocked it out the way that she did?
Oh man, even the engineer was shocked. He said, "You sure this is your first time recording?" She's like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Wow."
I think she probably got it from your work ethic though. When she sees how hard you're working, like it's easy to pick up on, and you know, and then, when you step up in there, like, yo, I gotta work hard. That's a good.
Yeah, and the advantage, some of the advantages is she's a lot younger, so it's a little bit more longer. You know, you have a little longer to develop her for the artist. The only thing I would say as far as me, I'm already hard on her as it is as a mom.
Yeah,
So I kind of let other people step in and take the role of the developing side and the management side because, you know, when you're a mom and you're already in this industry, you know how this industry works, you got to kind of let somebody else take control of that situation because you don't want to make her hate the business or hate the passion that she has. And this is where you let somebody else come in and take over the situation, you know, but you're there to guide it. So it's kind of like a conflict of interest situation, you know. I'm going to be there regardless, but at the same time, you know, I'm just going to let somebody else professionally take over.
yeah, cool, true. Um, so is she working on a project now, or not?
She's actually just recording. What we decided to do is she's going to record a few songs, knock out a few, to get them copyrighted, get her established, so that way when she does come out, she's just going to drop music and videos. Uh, but she's more or less in the studios writing what she has, so we can go back and register them. But yeah, she's in the slowing the process of the branding and artist development. Um, but I just told her to go ahead and drop some songs, put them to the side, at least do 11 or 12 different songs. You have that, drop that, leave that alone. Don't touch anything else. You got those. Then once she drops those, then we can go in and establish her branding and all that other stuff with her BMI and other stuff, so she'll be ready to go.
So how was important? Because a lot of cats miss this. How was important to have your songs copyrighted?
Um, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Tell us how important it is to have your songs copyrighted.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to have the copyrights done because you don't want nobody to steal your music. And if you put it on any type of Facebook platform without the copyrights, Facebook owns the rights to your music. They can use it however they want to use it, and they do not assume responsibility for anything that is stolen unless you have copyrights. That's why if you ever go to like the Facebook and you're playing the music that's already been copyrighted either by Warner Brothers or something, that's when they'll say, well, you do not own rights to this music. So if you have your music copyrighted, you'll see that when somebody else tries to use your material. Same thing with YouTube. That's where the IRC coding comes in for your YouTube and all that other stuff. YouTube takes percentages off of your views. Once you start accruing certain views and subscribers, you can automatically take percentages off that before they start cutting you a blue check, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, so you need to have all your copyrights in order, government copyright. Most people feel like they can do poor man's copyright.
No.
It's okay, but it don't really hold up in court. Uh, and for people who don't know what a poor man's copyright is, it's to send it to yourself and get it governmentally stamped. It
Yeah.
don't work that way.
Yeah. That used to be the thing back in the day, and then as I really got learned the business, I was like, yo, that's not the move. That's not the move. Shout out to Lyric, because Lyric is watching. He was a guest on here, and he was brought to us by Alexis from Limelight. She's
Hey, Lyric.
but definitely, um, let's talk about like ASCAP and BMI. Which do you prefer, and you know, what's the bigger difference?
Well, a majority of music users use BMI. It covers a little bit more. Um, BMI, if you're at a club and you're performing, and you don't get paid cash, you're still getting paid by streams. Because that club will be registered with BMI or any type of music publishing company, and I believe it's the same way with ASCAP as well. If you don't get paid pocket wise, then they'll still pay you with the ASCAP performances. And a lot of club owners don't know that, but you can actually register your music as a performance stream, even if you're not getting money in your pockets. And some clubs will hate that, but they're required to give you that. They're required to give you the acknowledgement that you performed there.
See,
So,
I'm betting a lot of artists don't know what you just said.
what'd you say? I'm sorry. I don't know if it's the phone service,
I-
but what did you say?
I'm saying I'm betting a lot of artists don't even know what you just said, don't even understand what you just said, because it's so mind blowing because they're missing out on money by not doing it the right way.
Right, exactly. And it's so many different ways to monetize off your music. Music licensing, movies, games, like if you get played on PlayStation or if you get played on any type of fight games, wrestling games, football games, basketball games, and you have your music, that's continually accruing money to you. It's important to have your licensing, your music licensing, your mechanical licensing off of your music. Then you register your lyrics as well on SoundScan, MediaBase, Nielsen BDs, all of that. That's just a few ways that you can monetize off of your music. It's so many different ways. Facebook just started a COVID-19 situation where a lot of the artists can get paid off of streaming music off of Facebook. That's through your publishing, your BMI. You can get, paid shows basically by live streaming your music. And it's kind of beneficial because you get fan base and you're still getting streams royalty off of it. Cash App was even doing a Spotify fundraiser for independent artists where you get people to stream your music and they match every $100 with everything that you stream. I'm not too familiar with that. I just know I recently seen it and I was doing some research on that particular fundraiser. And I had came across it because my mentor, shout out to Randolph Francis, kind of put me on game on things. Oh, also shout out to Jerome Grace as well. Kind of put me on game with a lot of different stuff, as far as the new fundraisers that they have. Because music is changing every single day.
See, I didn't even know that about the Facebook fundraiser. And that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. That's a lot of. That's something that artists could be using during this quarantine time to make income.
Right.
And um, I always tell artists, especially like right now when we're doing this quarantine, like this is the time that you have that you should be perfecting your product, your craft. Shooting your videos, getting that long-awaited mixtape or album like done, the artwork. So when this stuff stops, you can literally hit the ground running. And get the business side in order because, like I said, I didn't know about the fundraiser, what you just spoke of. That's something new to me. And this is just like general conversation. That's what I'm gonna look into for my artist Renegade. Um, it's deep though. Um, it's just something that like you can always learn from somebody, and that's one of the values of networking. Never be too big to learn from another person.
Um, Repeat that.
I was just saying that's the value of networking. Never be too big to learn from another person.
Exactly. And what a lot of these artists is, oh God, I might piss a couple of them off when I say this. A
Speaking,
lot of the artists get, a lot of the artists will get too cocky and feel like they're making certain moves and they're making millions or they're doing this and they got all of this and they're too cocky to network with other artists because they feel like they're better than the other artists. And we strongly tell them that, you're not. Because if you were better than the other artists, you would have been signed by now. You would have been making a whole lot more money than what you're making right now. And you would not be struggling right now if you were that much better than the next person. And a lot of them need to humble themselves because, they get on social media talking all this mess about, I'm the best, da-da-da, but your paperwork's not in order. You're not making no money and you're still broke. You're still struggling. you're still spending money on frivolous things, materialistic things, and you're not even investing in yourself. You're chasing women, and nobody's better than the next. As far as anything goes, it is what it is.
That is so true. That's so true. That's so true. Um, Man, that's just the and this is coming from a person that's in the industry, and I say this all the time. Like, you do gotta humble yourself. You're not better than the next. And networking with artists, like that's how you grow your fan base. You know, you you shouldn't look at that other artist as just another artist. You can look at that artist as a potential fan. Like, it should be no problem to go up to somebody and be like, "I like that song you just did. That was hot." You know, showing love don't kill nobody.
No, it don't. It don't.
Um,
You just gotta know when to show love and when not to show love, and don't show too much love.
that's true. You don't want to be considered a group. So, what are some of the trials and tribulations that you've encountered, and how do y'all stay focused on y'all success that y'all been doing?
Uh, for me, so many obstacles have come in between some of me and my partners. My business partner, lost her mother the first year that we got established. I recently just gave up my apartment to do this full time. I struggle with some financial things, but with the same thing we tell the artists is, and like I said, shout out to my business partner, because without her and some of the people that I have right now, I would have been quit a long time ago. But it's them that keeps me motivated, because I know at the end of the day, somebody's dream is about to come true. Um, you got to stay focused. You got to keep your head high. You got to keep going, because no matter what, you're going to go through so many obstacles before you finally see that greater blessing on the other side. And it's all about determination. It's all about putting that footwork in and going. Nothing was built overnight. Even the most successful companies out here didn't, they weren't so successful their first 2 years. And now they're, multi-million dollar, companies, Fortune 500 companies. And, anything's possible. You got to keep God first. Keep God, keep prayed up, and keep faith, and never let the things that you can't control stress you out to the point where you feel like you want to give up on everything that you worked so hard for. And it's the same thing with the artist. Work ethic is everything. If you want it bad enough, you can go out there. Your career and your success is determined on how bad you go work for it and how hard you want that.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Um, I ain't gonna keep you much longer because I know I'm still in your Saturday and it's nice outside, so I know you got better things better to talk to me all day. Um, is there anything that you want to tell artists, up and coming artists, what they need to do, um, to to get their business in order?
Um, to get their business started, you said?
To get their business in order. Actually, I'll give you the same question I give all the rappers and stuff. Give me five do's and five don'ts of this industry.
Oh Lord.
Yes, I.
Damned if you do, damned if you do, and damned if you don't of the industry.
Yep.
From the artist perspective or from the management
This is
perspective?
from a management perspective, so they can understand.
Oh God. This is a good one. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Well, damned if you do if you work so hard to brand certain artists and they get to the point where they're so big headed and they're so green they want to work for any and everybody. And then the damned if you don't is because they screwed people over so many times, and it comes with the territory. It's so many different disloyal people in the industry, and so many that think they know it all in the industry, and then the diva side of things where you deal with so many artists, especially the older artists, where you deal with oh, I got this, I don't need your help, da 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 da. But again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you don't need my help, then why aren't you where you are? Why aren't you making $1 million? And excuse my French when I say this. I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can curse on air. So I'm just gonna do this. Sometimes, as people, we need to learn to shut the up and listen.
That is true.
I had to keep it PG because I do know it's a family radio. So,
Now, you can say whatever you want. We say whatever we want on At the Bar Radio. You tell them sometimes people when she said it a nice way, but sometimes y'all need to shut the fuck up and listen. So your management is telling you to go right, and they're like, no, go right. Shut the fuck up and stop going left, because that's the struggle. Like we tell you to go one way, and you're like, no, I want to go over here. This is what so. Shut the fuck up. I don't care what so and so says. Stay on the path. It's a reason why they're management, and the reason why you're the artist.
yeah, we're like everything. We're like their moms outside of their moms in the industry. Their management or their parents outside of the industry. The only thing is, we don't babysit the older artists. Either you're going to do this, you're not going to do this, and if you're not, then we're going to have to move on to somebody else more serious. It's just the way the game goes. It's a business at the end of the day. We can't coddle you. We can't sugarcoat anything. I mean, some people might. Some people might be too nice about it in the industry, but it's a cutthroat industry, so you got to give it to them raw. You got to be like, no, your music is trash. You need to redo this. It sounds like you're in a basement. It sounds like you're in a trash can. Like, dude, no, this is not what they want. Sometimes you got to tell them, and sometimes you're going to hurt feelings. And myself, I had to learn that even hearing things from other people. You gotta have your heart has to be on ice basically. No emotions. You can't wear them on your sleeve. And we have to tell these people, even us as management, sometimes we get close with our people, but at the same time we have to maintain that business relationship. Like we can't get too close because that's when things go completely left. And you gotta maintain that meanness.
Yeah, I believe that what happens is you have to being part of this management. Sometimes you have to hurt feelings. I've been a manager in whatever job I've been at. Like, and when you evaluate people and stuff like that, it's tough telling a nice employee that they suck. And
Right.
but they won't get better if you keep telling them they okay. You do them a greater disservice by not saying. So someone's music is trash. I'm not saying hurt their feelings, but they can't become a better artist if you another yes man. You gotta tell them, yo, that song is garbage. I know you can do better. Do better and push them.
Yeah.
I mean, so I understand. Like, everything not and they know that you garbage. It don't help if you sugarcoat it.
Yeah. And the other thing is, artists, your friends are not really your fans. They're supposed to tell you they like your music.
Say that again.
Your friends and your family really, they count, but they really don't because they know you on a daily basis. And they go and tell you they love your music. They go and tell you that music is dope. They go and tell you that because they love you and they don't want to hurt your feelings. But if they really, really loved you, they tell you raw that your music is trash, if it really is trash. Because if they don't, somebody else will. So you got to be prepared. You got to take constructive criticism. You got to be prepared. Not everybody is going to like your music. But however, on the bright side of things, there might be at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 1,000 people that might. So it's kind of hit or miss.
But your mama is your number one fan is a very unbiased opinion because she's not going to tell you how much you suck. And if all you ever did is play music for your family and your friends on the block, how do you know if that song's a hit if you don't take it out of town? How can you expect that song to grow if you don't play it in front of other people that don't know you?
Yeah.
That's
And
that's
the
something
best
to the
advice,
industry.
I'm sorry, the best advice that I heard from an actual artist himself was when he sat down with Wendy Day. Uh, I love Wendy Day as a
Black
person.
Coalition.
Yeah, and it's even for these upcoming artists, your fan base is not in your hometown. Your fan base is 250 miles outside of your radius. That's when you know you're hot. When you can blow up 250 miles outside of your radius, that's when you know you're hot. And these are people that never met you nothing. And you can do that by doing social media marketing. You can get on social media, these group chats, interact with people. People going to share your music. People going to vibe to it. You're going to network with people. It goes back to being lazy. You got to put the work ethic in. You can't expect management companies to do it. We're not here to do the work for you. And if we do, it's because we do it out of the kindness of our hearts. If we invest anything, it's because we do it out of the kindness of our hearts. But legally, technically, excuse me, I don't want to say legally, but technically, management companies do not have to do that. We are here to manage a company. Your business, your brand, whatever it may be, is your company. If you don't even have your company established, you do not, and I repeat, do not need management. You need development.
Amen, 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 amen. And for one more thing before we get up out of here is how is important is 'cause I heard you talking about the branding and the merch and stuff like that. How important is that? Because I remember seeing an interview, um, and this is what made me respect Waka Flocka so much. I was never really a Waka Flocka fan until he was like, "Yeah, I was going through my shows and I figured I I could sell my own T-shirts at my shows." And he was like, "Man, I made 250,000 off selling T-shirts at my own shows." And I was like, "What? Damn, he's genius."
Right. And that all falls under to marketing. Your brand is your network and your net worth. Your brand with the code scans, people can scan your T-shirts as a stream. If you put the barcode in, they have a new option now where you can barcode cards, barcode CDs, barcode T-shirts. They have the option where people can do that now. People scan it, they download your music automatically. Guess what? You're getting paid twice. You're getting paid off your merchandise. You're getting paid off your streams. And you're also doing your marketing where you're reaching 250 miles outside your radius. Or like they say, the $1.87 you're seen and heard in different jurisdictions and you've never been there. The $1.87 marketing rule, like I tell people, you're seen and you're being heard outside of your area. The importance of branding and marketing, especially when you go to label executives, they want to see the brand. You got to sell them that brand. They can hear you all day long, but the option of you being an artist and catching the attention of these major label industry execs is to sell a product. What makes you as an artist think that I want to buy what you're selling? If you have nothing to show me, I'm not going to put no money into it. So what do you have to offer me as the artist, as the merchandiser or the consumer? What do you have to offer me? I can't take your word. You got to show me something. And it's a great way to market, basically.
True indeed, true indeed. Shoot. Can you give people your IG and your information if they want to contact you, your website and everything?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at limelight_management2. That's the number 2. Facebook at Alexis Mandakis or Limelight Management. And the web site is www.llmartist.com. We just recently got our new webpage up again. Shout out to my partner, Stephanie again. Like I said, beast. Straight beast. That's the cookie lines of our company.
Cool, cool, cool. Maybe next time we can get her on as well. Um, and y'all are, and the thing is, a lot of people do stuff to say I'm this man, this man. Y'all are LLC, correct?
Yes, we are LLC.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to let you know they're an official company. there's everybody can make could be on the internet, could be whatever you want, but they are an official company. They have an LLC, you know, and that's important because that shows that if they took time and money to get an LLC so they can take this serious. So if you're coming to them, you need to be able to take it serious as well.
Yeah. And I remember actually having a conversation with you on a conference call a while back when I was actually formerly with you guys at Capital Hustlers. You guys actually got me my start, as well as my best friend DJ Get At You with Hustle Gang. And I remember having a conversation, and I'm going to say this exactly to the artists. if you don't invest in yourself and you don't take time to invest in yourself, whether it be financially, health, wealth, whatever, anything beneficial to yourself, you cannot expect the next man to put anything into you. Again, you gotta sell that. You gotta show people that you the shit. And I don't mean cockiness. I mean that you're ready to go. Budget. And everybody's scared of that word budget, but yes, you have to have some sort of budget to get the ball rolling. Might not have to be millionaire. You might not have to be thousands of dollars in, but you need to have some type of steady income coming in, whatever you do. You have to have some type of residual income coming in. And on the funny side of things is artists, wrap it up. Stop having these babies.
But you're absolutely right about investing in yourself. If with anything that you want to do, like you can't expect other people to pay for your dream. You know, um, if if you want a video, you need to make that decision. Do you want Jordans or a video? Do you need to do
Um,
yourself or do you need the video? Or do you want to pay for the marketing for your single? Because I can tell you now, I can go on Spotify right now, and there are thousands of artists that have maybe just have a hot song and maybe just 1,000 plays because they didn't spend no marketing to promote the song. They just thought, oh, it's hot and everybody's gonna hear it. Shit does not work that way.
right. It don't. And oh, we could go on days for this little music thing. We could go on days and days and days. I wish we had 2, 3 hours for this,
Well,
but
we know it's gonna be more than one interview. Uh,
yeah, yeah. It's just,
so
oh man,
we'll save that. We'll save that other talk for another time. Um, but I just wanted to get on because I play a lot of indie artists. I interview a lot of indie artists, but I wanted to talk on the different side of things, of the business side of things, because that's really how your music starts to grow. Having a hot song is cool, but if you don't know the business aspect of it, that song ain't gonna be able to grow the way it should be.
right. You're gonna get screwed if you don't do your research.
Yeah, if you don't know your business and you don't have the right people in your corner, there's and that we'll say this conversation for part two. There's a rack of people we can name who's been screwed out of music, and some of them you wouldn't believe are in the industry now that's been screwed out of music because their
Yeah,
business wasn't right.
yeah. It's terrible, but that's the whole point. I think a lot of these artists that I've talked to recently said, "Damn, had we known then what we know now, and we had somebody like you in Limelight to guide us, we wouldn't be in the position that we are in now. We wouldn't still be struggling trying to get our music out there. We wouldn't be able to, move the way we wanted to move if they had known us back then instead of just meeting us now. And like I said, shout out to my artists because you made me who I am. We have several different artists that we work with, some independent and some actually with the company of Limelight. Um, it all goes hand in hand. Like we're nothing without each other at the end of the day, and you as artists are nothing without each other. And instead of trying to outdo each other, everybody needs to come together, network and brands because we need each other at the end of the day.
Well, I mean,
And
and you're absolutely right because, like I said, if you sent artists my way, to interview, and that's networking. Hey, you got some spots open? Yeah, well, I'm about to fill them up. I'm about to sing with these people. I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that. Like that's networking. That helps me expand. Like I've heard about Lyric, but I've never met him, and and you were able to set that up to get him on the show. That's expanding my network. And funny thing is about that, another artist that actually knew Lyric that lived out here saw the interview, and he was my guest on Wednesday. Shout out to Rebags.
yeah,
And that came off that interview.
right. It's all about building relationships with people because in the end, again, we're going to need each other down the road. Eventually, we're all going to cross paths. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but eventually we're going to all cross paths. And, it's always important to keep a good bridge between companies and people, because you build a bridge, you break a bridge, that can cost you everything that you worked so hard for. One bad business review is all it takes sometimes to ruin your reputation. So it's always so important to keep positive relationships with these outside companies, whatever it is. Even some artists, it's always good to, to kind of keep things peaceful at it, and I've had to learn myself that sometimes social media is not the place for company-related beefs or any type of situation. Sometimes you just got to charge it to the game and move on, live and learn, basically.
That's true. That's so true. That's so true. Man, all right, well, I'm about to play this video by Menace. Bust it, what thing it's called? Bust It Down. I'm gonna let you go. I'll probably play a couple more songs because we just went all the way through talk. I didn't even take no music break or anything. Um, but it was a good conversation that people needed to know. So I thank you, and this is only part one. So we'll be calling you soon for part two, and we're gonna do it up at the bar radio.
Thank you so much for having me on here. It's been an honor. And to my independent artists, whatever you do, keep your head up, keep moving. You got this.
Definitely, definitely.
I need a bust down like the woods. Shoot away like we in Florida.
Hey, E-Mark. 6 chill for real.
I need a bust down ring like the woods. My bitch get super wet like we in Florida. Yeah, I need that call from my lawyer. Cause it's cool shit just like getting annoying. Yeah, you better get your bitch a order. She like the niggas that's taking the mortars. Yeah, I beat the pack that La Hoya. Don't make me put bro on your head and shoulders. Yeah, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, I swear that I want it. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, I swear that I want it. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, I swear that I want it. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, I swear that I want it. Bust it down, free them niggas locked, free my fucking rhymes. Banging up six, bust it down a pound. Tryna kick a nigga dope, get down on the ground. Losing them same shit, kicking niggas round. Nigga know you ain't my dough, won't get no fucking pound. Nigga, I'm a big dog, free my tray pound. Bangs on my line, and the nigga had to lay down. Shit got too hot, I'm way too geek, put a nigga on fast. I pop a perk and I beat up her box. I jumped in that water, was swimming with sharks. He sending tweets and we sending him shots. I brought her in shit and I beat up her back. And you ain't no worry, yo, one nigga stop. If you for the cage, then that shit a lot. And we don't know your car, then that shit getting stopped. We on every car, bitch. We on your head like a car bitch. He don't pay me, then he daddy in the garbage. Wanna see a kick flip, we can make his car flip. Come from top calling up, Trevi on the Forbes list. You don't suck dick, bitch, you must be a boy, bitch. How you gon' fuck, bro? You must be a whore, bitch. Better take this flight when I get done with all the cool shit. I need a bust down ring like the woods. My bitch get super wet like we in Florida. Yeah, I need that call from my lawyer. Cause this cool shit just like getting annoying. Yeah, you better get your bitch a order. She like them niggas that's taking the mortars. Yeah, I beat the pack that La Hoya. Don't make me put bro on your head and shoulders. Yeah, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, I swear that I want it. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, I swear that I want it. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, I swear that I want it. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, I swear that I want it.
Class, I'm glad you all can make it today. I got a special guest. But before we get to the special guest, this is what we got to do. Because right here, you down here. But this is what we want you with limits. And then punchlines.
Tell him, man, this dude's a genius.
Hell no. It's like you know how to make sandwiches. What we gonna do is fight, karate, ninja stuff.
This is the stuff, though. You need to be right here.
It don't look like it. I think this is bullshit.
Try and learn. Y'all making too much noise.
Who she shit like that?
Satellite.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this sound like?
North, south, east, west, coast to coast. Killer shit. Bitch, I'm strong enough to raise your roof and watch your ceiling split. Plugging holes in your game, they calling me the ceiling fix. Ain't no one in my lane, I'm training night and day. Y'all gonna know my name. What's my name? What's my name? What's my name? Yeah. in session. I am Black Mr. Miyagi. Teaching all these lessons in defenses in karate. If your language ain't offensive, you'll be left here in this trolley. Testing your cardio, nothing but body blows. Swift kicks to your dominoes. You better dominoes, so be left with a snotty nose. 2 pieces till your eyes can close. Look, listen to me, son. I know what you want. What? I teach you the speech. Position your hands. Yeah. Your stances are wrong. Nah, be quick on your feet. Twist when you hit. Yeah. How can you miss? Nigga, you bigger than me. You thinking too deep. Yeah. Stop getting big. Get your delivery sweet and make you some cake. Yeah. And make no mistakes. You'll never physically peak. Reaching infinity speeds. Adrenaline heaven, you dizzy for weeks. What's my name? Can't call me the man who can walk on water. Walk on water? And you, my friend, in the hands of a rusty barber. What's my name? Come, sit down. You don't want to get slaughtered. Nah. For acting an ass and harassing the staff next class, I'ma have to charge. North, south, east, west, coast to coast. Bitch, I'm strong enough to raise your roof and watch your ceiling split. Plugging holes in your game, they calling me the ceiling fix. Ain't no one in my lane, I'm training night and day. Y'all gonna know my name. What's my name? What's my name? What's my name? Yeah. What's my name? What's my name? Y'all gonna know my name. What's my name? What's my name? I'm from the Dojo. Y'all gonna know my name.
360.
Honor the flow. I am on fire, start, drop, and roll. Cause I got the glow. Go beyond the process of consciousness, come out your body and flow. I show you how to write when the oxygen, carbon is all that we smoke. Zone in a place where the mind's unfocused. In this space of your times unfolded. Observe every word, let it merge with a verb. We be numb to the nerve like ibuprofen. No token, take you a drag. You hidden and ready to pass with Mayweather swag. You dipping and hitting this medicine bag, well it ain't Zab. Don't miss 2 hits like a hell of a jab. This veteran's fast. These hands so quick, I can split 3 feathers in half. I'm out your range. 2 shots to knock your brain from out your frame. We not the same. I'm good with my hands in every way like Doctor Strange. Nigga, what's my name? Can't call me the man who can walk on water. And you, my friend, in the hands of a rusty barber. What's my name? Come, sit down. You don't wanna get slaughtered. For acting an ass and harassing the staff next class, I'ma have to charge. North, south, east, west, coast to coast. Bitch, I'm strong enough to raise your roof and watch your ceiling split. Plugging holes in your game, they calling me the ceiling fix. Ain't no one in my lane, I'm training night and day. Y'all gonna know my name. What's my name? What's my name? What's my name? Yeah. What's my name? What's my name? Y'all gonna know my name. What's my name? What's my name? I'm from the Dojo. Y'all gonna know my name.
360.
Oh, they tryna escape on me. They gotta wait on me.
Hey yo, Nash, you go crazy.
Yeah. They tryna escape on me. Bad thoughts on my mind, them good thoughts got away from me. Tryna provide, but y'all tryna hate on me. One day I'm gonna change up, hope God tryna wait on me. So much I can take, but y'all tryna take from me. Niggas envy when a young nigga make money. Niggas envy when a young nigga make money. Bullshit, I'm just tryna make drink money. Finesse the plug, turn around, yeah, that's fake money. You want some drugs, you can buy all the shake from me. When you up, then walk around with that weight on me. Blow it all with the team. I blow this 40 off, got a beam. All that shit bad thoughts in my dreams. They thought I couldn't pull it off, what you mean? I'm tryna smash out on 4G autos. Crash out with IG models. All you see around is Henny bottles. Drippin' rockin' my Givenchy goggles. Mad cause they can't get a word out. I be coolin', I don't feel like shout. I be faded, I be feelin' so drought. I'm a bad influence to some of the people around me. Good student, I ain't go that route. I dropped out, yeah, I just wanted that clout. Run it up, then we head to the south. Scam some niggas, had to close my mouth. Yeah, they tryna escape on me. Bad thoughts on my mind, them good thoughts got away from me. Tryna provide, but y'all tryna hate on me. One day I'm gonna change up, hope God tryna wait on me. So much I can take, but y'all tryna take from me. Niggas envy when a young nigga make money. Niggas envy when a young nigga make money. Bullshit, I'm just tryna make drink money. Finesse the plug, turn around, yeah, that's fake money. You want some drugs, you can buy all the shake from me. When you up, then walk around with that weight on you.
When you up, then walk around with that weight on you. Moving too fast, hold it down, I can't wait on you. When you gone, they talking down, yeah, they hate on you. Chameleon skin when shit go down, yeah, they change on you. They say they love you, but they really gon' rob you. My heart was made of hate, pain, and sorrow. They with you today, they switching up tomorrow. I'ma just sip this tea and eat tomorrow. You could be gone for a little bitty tea. Feeling froggy, then leap out here, Jiminy Creek. My life right that far, I'm on the last mission. Your life in the bar, and I'm washing the dishes. I might fly out the Cali, spending my riches. Cross over me once and I'm burning your bridges. It's a circle of life, but just don't get it twisted. Fuck her then leave, I can't love on these bitches. Bitch, you gotta pay if you want me to miss. Cause whatever I say will get people's attention. This life get too real, don't need nobody bitching. I've been through the struggle, babe, I don't be tripping.
They tryna escape on me. Bad thoughts on my mind, them good thoughts got away from me. Tryna provide, but y'all tryna hate on me. One day I'm gonna change, I forgot tryna wait on me. So much I could take, but y'all tryna take from me. Niggas envy when a young nigga make money. Niggas envy when a young nigga make money. Bullshit, I'm just tryna make Drake money. Finesse the plug, turn around, yeah, that's fake money. You want some drugs, you can buy all this shake from me. When you up, don't walk around with that weight on you.
Yesterday, I called with no answer. Yesterday, I called with no answer. Lost my brother in the sleep and I still ain't wake up. Rolling J's up, high in pain behind makeup. Keep the clippers, don't get your shit shaped up. A part of me died, other half is a straight nut. One gone, the other fighting the cage trust. When I say I had your back till the rest of my days up. Cause it's hating shit, and the lies never phased us. Stayed up, play your cards but it ain't tongue. Yesterday, I called with no answer. Yesterday, I called with no answer. Grieving, fighting demons, heart bleeding, now I'm anemic. Needing somewhere scenic, I mean it, my soul redeeming. Feeling to hear your voice, I needed my heart screaming. You leaving, took a